Hey everybody, it's Bart here, and I'm finishing up our series in all things. So all things essential movements. We've done all things pushing, all things pulling, all things squatting, which could be sit to stand, and we've done all things lifting. Now next would be all things twisting. So far we've done everything in two planes of motion, which is our frontal and sagittal plane. We haven't gotten into different mechanics like lunging at the moment, but we haven't done anything in the transverse plane, so twisting. We've done a little bit of trunk rotation when we did a single arm deadlift, but we haven't really talked about lateral bending or twisting with the load. So today we're going to talk about twisting with the load. So twisting with the load or rotation is anything as simple as just a basic rotation. You could do this sitting or standing. It's always best to get yourself up standing. I know during this time of shutdown, the couch is calling. It's easy to want to just turn into a potato, but this will pay you back for years and years and even decades to come. So I bend my knees in this very, very basic twist. I bend my knees, they don't turn anymore. It's all above the hip, so I'm rotating or twisting. So I'm rotating right, and I'm rotating left. I could have the weight closer up, I could have the weight lower down, I could switch it to one arm. And this is a little bit more of a workout when you have more than 5 pounds. So if I was to grab my water bottle here, my improvised weight, it has a different pull, so it's harder to hold on to. So it might feel a little bit heavier. When I get my kettlebell, the 25-pound kettlebell, I'll be able to demonstrate a little bit of a little bit more exertion. All right, so we've done our basic twist. We've looked at how we could use improvised materials. Let's check out lateral bend. This is one of the most popular exercises you see at the gym. Now, I always cue it up in a very specific way. I say, here's my handle, here's my spout. I'm a little teapot, make people laugh, they enjoy that, and it kind of disarms them if they've never heard any of my banter before. Now, I still unlock my knees. I don't bend my knees. I don't drop into it, and I definitely don't turn my hips. So you always want to be wary of bend and turn. You want to just bend. Now, I use the analogy of the pipe cleaner for our spine. Our spine moves and bends, it turns a little bit, and it flexes and extends. So our spine, we always want to pay attention to what's happening there, and we never want to have weight move away from the midline of the body that far because it's going to put an unnatural look on our lower back. That's why we always want to keep weights as close to the body as possible when we're working with it. You may have done some powerlifting and you realize that the closer you up are to the 6-foot bar, the better your deadlift is. All right, so for our lateral bend, I'm going to bend to the side, keeping my legs tall, no bend in the knee, and I'm going to drop my ear towards the weight, and I'm going to turn my eyes up towards the opposite corner of the ceiling. So I'm not going to just come over to the side. I stay engaged with the eyes. The eyes will help you keep your balance. When we move the ears, we typically challenge our balance because of the semicircular canals in there. They are experiencing that, and it's throwing off your center of gravity. So that's why we always want to stay grounded in the legs. We don't want to bend into it. So I'm just bending down, reaching towards the knee, coming back, head forward. Ear over, head forward. And I'm not doing this mindlessly. I'm not just repping it out. Sometimes you'll see people at the gym where they'll have one weight on the other side, but if you look at the camera closely here, look at my neck. It's pretty far out of alignment from the rest of my spine, so that's why I go with it. And then to keep my balance, I focus upward. All right, so that's our lateral bend. We've done a standing twist. We're going to check out a low-weighted windmill, a high-weighted windmill, and then we'll check out some kneeling exercises. So for our low-weighted windmill, I have the weight low. I unlock my knees. My legs are wide like a sumo squat. I'm going to take this arm up. Now, I've done this in a video before where I drop down right here. See how I turn my whole chest, my shoulders open. I unlock my knees. Now I'm really working my trunk. So there's a lot of rotation there, trunk rotation, so it's going to be great for this section of the body. It's going to be great for your core, both looks and functionality. And so this one, in the previous video, I showed a quick transfer with a low weight. You can always do sets and repetitions per side, so 10 left, 10 right. This is a very difficult exercise, so if you start to add it to your routine, I typically will have people do 1 set per session. And then the next session you can reevaluate if you want to do 2 sets. This is good for once a week. I don't typically do it more than once a week. I like to mix up my exercises. However, you could probably handle this a couple times a week on opposite ends of the spectrum. Leave 3 to 4 days in between and just rotate it through that way. Now, a high-weighted windmill, one of the hardest exercises I could teach you, I have the weight up, exact same mechanics, except here I have a weight. Now, some of you, when you take my classes, I'll see you rotate the arm. That's a no-no here. Locating, dislocating. So I want to stay locating, keep that arm the same way, and I press on up. All right. Now I can do these same exercises kneeling, so I can work my twist here, and then I can also hold a heavier weight and work that rotation here as well. Now those are the most basic twisting exercises. They're ones I want you to start practicing if you haven't done any rotation. 5-pound weights, gallon water is enough weight. And then if you start bending and you feel really tight, there's another exercise for lateral bends that you can practice, and that's crescent moon. And there's 3 ways to tackle the crescent moon in my mind. There might be more. And so we could have hands together over to the side. Sometimes I'll say hand to wrist, and so I'll work that up and over that way. Or I could just drop an arm, old ballet style. Embrace your inner ballerina, working that way. And so that's a great way for you to start practicing getting into your lateral bend without weight. You have a lot of ideas now. Practice a few of them this week. Next week, maybe you do a full formal session where you say, maybe I'm going to do 2 sets of 10, lateral bend, 2 sets of 10, lateral bend. Maybe I do 2 sets of 10, standing twist, and then maybe I do 1 set of 10, low-weighted windmill. So there's some great ideas for your twisting. This concludes our all things section, and then I'm going to create a playlist for this, and I'm going to put all these videos into one playlist called Exercise Fundamentals. All right? Happy Friday, everybody. Take care.